Miceli reporting for News Radio 610 KONA. Very important topic being covered today. It's the Tri-Tech Fall Soup Competition. And sometimes you do get lucky in the events that you get to cover. And I'm here today on the Tri-Tech campus over off Meadowline, ready to judge some soups. Long story short, this is a competition done by the Culinary Arts program here, and there are 4 teams. All the students in the program put into 4 teams. Those 4 teams each produced a soup, and now some local guests and one lucky media guy here get to judge that soup, and the winner of this actually gets to go on to attend the Beggars Banquet, rather, fundraiser that's coming up on November 6th. And that's a soup competition and fundraiser for Safe Harbor support and also supporting my friend's place. So without further ado on this, I want to get to a little bit about each of these soups. This is going to be my first time tasting them, and I'm very excited here. So I want to start with entry number 1. This came from The Soupers, and it's not maybe your conventional type of soup. I'm going to very carefully tip this forward. It is pretty liquidy, so it is a ramen soup, and the thing that the Soupers say sets theirs apart is what you see in here. This is pork belly, actually. It's called shasu, and it's a Japanese dish, and it's pork belly that is seared and seasoned in kind of a soy and sesame oil. So soup number 1 from the Soupers is this ramen noodle soup. I'm gonna give it a try. Very strong notes. I can taste the soy, taste the sesame, very good. I want to make sure I get a piece of this pork belly, though. Ooh. Done very well. Soft. Texture, seared, to give it that crispy edge, and it's got a little to it as well. So we're going to let the palate cleanse for a second there, reset, and we're on next to Java Soupers, which Java an acronym for everyone who is a member of that team. First letter of each of their names. Java Soups is what it'll be, and they did a delicata squash soup, which is a butternut squash soup that you can see right here. Always a fan of the seasonal foods. I'm a big gourd guy here. Love pumpkin spice season. Love all those fall soups that come out, and we're going to give this butternut, or rather this delicata squash soup, a try here. And when talking with them prior to this taste, they said that the delicata squash variety is very sweet, and so they went to kind of balance it out. There's some harsher elements, some more powerful stuff in here too. They've got garlic in here, onion, parsley oil. Now giving this squash soup a try. Ooh. Exquisite. I love the texture, just that thick, creamy texture from the squash varieties of soups. Very good, very creamy, and indeed very sweet, which is a guy who eats probably 90% sugar throughout the day. Very much a fan of the sweetness of this. The third soup up on the docket here is the Jones Sisters Bacon Chowder, and this one a little thicker, so we can maybe give you a little better insight with the picture here. As you can see, one of the things that they took pride in when I talked with them prior to sitting down with the plate here is they very much took pride in the amount of corn and bacon and some of the other heartier elements of this bacon chowder here. So, and just moving it around with the spoon, it is very thick, it is very hearty, and that's a good sign out of the gate here. I'm also seeing some onion and other vegetables, it looks like. So we'll check out the flavor and texture profile here. Also quite good. And the bacon adding that saltier texture. I don't know if that's a word, but that saltier components, and then the texture too, the crispiness of the bacon, a good complement for the creamy soft nature of the corn and the rest of the chowder. So part 2 of the TriTech Fall Soup competition here, since I was a little too pokey in talking with everybody and they had that intermission here. We're on the chicken noodle soup, the last of the soups. That is homemade noodles. The team, Soup Chefs, thinks is going to be the difference maker. Flour, egg, all the simple stuff. There's some celery, carrot here, some hearty chunks of chicken. So we'll be giving this one a try and putting these homemade noodles to the test. And that is very good as well. And while they're doing the final tallies here, I'm going to have a tough time making a decision. I'm not going to lie. All of these are very good in their very own ways, and I think it's going to come down to personal preference. If you like a little more kick, this ramen one has a little oomph to it. The chicken noodle soup, very homey, very comforting, especially on a day like today where it's gray and cloudy. And same can be said for the chowder. It's a classic. People know and love chowder, and you know what you get with it. The bacon and corn very good together. But as a seasonal guy, I think I'm going to have to go with the delicata squash here. 'Tis the season. Maybe that plays into it as well. But the notes of this, very sweet, texture perfect. And this is one that I feel I could just eat bowl after bowl after bowl of and not stop doing it. So that'll be my vote for this TriTech Fall Soup competition as the 9:30, 10 o'clock session now comes to an end. There is another one happening 1 to 1:30, and so it'll be interesting to see how the results all play out. But again, the winners of these competitions here at TriTech in the Culinary Arts program get to go on to the Beggar's Banquet. That's taking place November 6th, that fundraiser for Safe Harbor, and then also My Friend's Place. So, again, Derek Miceli, very contently and happily reporting here from TriTech for News Radio 610 KONA.